Welcome to the self-awareness program, Remembering How to Fall Asleep. When we were babies, falling asleep didn't really present a problem. We seem to be able to do it naturally. It's a very natural and imperative state, and yet somehow we seem to have forgotten how to do that as we've grown older. I think in simplistic terms, you can say that we have become more separated from our true selves as we've grown older. So the process being offered here is a way of remembering how to go to sleep. And you do that through your self-awareness. So each step is a step in practicing your self-awareness. And the wonderful thing about this is that you do not need to go through a long drawn-out process of how to become self-aware. Generally, we can just narrow in on this one particular issue and you should be able to gain relief within a few days. And once you've discovered this process for yourself and you have gained this awareness about yourself, it is something that will stay with you for the rest of your life. Remember, sleeping is essential to our physical well-being and also our ability to cope with day-to-day life. So it really is worth you giving the focus that is required to get a good, healthy night's sleep. Step 1 to finding yourself to sleep. Most people go to bed in autopilot. They are not aware that they are performing certain actions, seeing certain things perhaps, on their route to even going to bed. Mind is lost in 1,000 places. So for step 1, I propose that you focus your attention from the point of deciding when you're actually going to go to bed. Every step, action, everything you experience or look at, become highly aware of what is actually happening. The second level to this awareness, of course, is, do you like what's actually happening? There'll be things that are taking place that you may not actually feel particularly comfortable with. You just do it because you're an autopilot and you're not particularly aware. So this is an opportunity to now start identifying those things. In your awareness of what is actually taking place in your bedtime routine, I would like you to also practice becoming aware of certain aspects. So for example, how comfortable are you once you're actually in bed? Any lights? Maybe there's too much or maybe there's too little light. Sounds are very important. There could be sounds distracting you that you're not really highly aware of, but bringing it into your awareness allows you to do something about that. Temperature can have a really big impact, or maybe it's the comfort level of your bed. Maybe it's your physical comfort, or perhaps that you're finding yourself physically quite tense. What you will find is that there is a direct relationship between your physical tension and your thought processes. So if you're worrying about something, your body will be quite tense, and in fact your face is where you will feel it the most. So become aware of either what you're thinking and just relax your thinking and feel your body relax, or consciously relax the muscles in your face, for example, and allow your thoughts to follow. You can do it either way. So these are just a few things that perhaps you can start to notice. It could be on your way to bed, you brush your teeth and you're wearing your day clothes. Are you aware of, do you like it or don't you like it? Because you could actually find it far more relaxing to be brushing your teeth with your pajamas on. Maybe you should give it a try. Step 2 in raising your awareness. In step 1, you have raised your awareness of what's actually taking place in your bedtime routine. So for step 2, Now you know what your routine is and what is actually taking place. All the things that you don't like, you can now start to consciously take control of and make them into something that you do like. The principal point here is that you want to take care of yourself as much as possible and make yourself feel as relaxed as you possibly can. You can't make someone else responsible for that. Only you can do that for yourself. So anything that's going on that isn't particularly comfortable for you during your going to bed process, you can change it. Or perhaps it's something whilst you're in bed. Maybe there's too much light in your room and there is something that you can do to reduce the amount of light. Maybe there's too much noise, so you can go and buy some earplugs. Maybe it's a partner in your bed who is breathing too loudly, or you are too distracted by their presence. Then you can start doing some deep focus meditation. Either way, you now, through having that awareness, have the ability to control the situation and maximize it for your own well-being. Step 3. So you've become highly aware of yourself in your going to bed process and once you're in bed, and you've made all your appropriate changes. However, you're still finding that you're not fully relaxed enough to make a nice slip into that slumber and those lovely dreams. So step 3 is taking it one step further, in fact, because step 3, you are now going to start paying attention to what you're doing just before you start your bedtime routine. What people don't realise is that when they're watching a TV programme or a film that is highly stimulating, that can actually inhibit their ability to relax and be in a state that's ready for sleep. If it is perhaps something that you're watching on TV, it could be highly stimulating in the obvious sense of an action movie, or it could be something more subtle. It could be something that's maybe watching the news, which can, on most cases, be quite depressing. There's not a huge amount on the news that does tend to be positive. So maybe it's the fact that you watch the news just before you go to bed. This is easily changeable. You can do several things. You can either switch off the TV a bit earlier, read a book, maybe play a game of Sudoku. Or maybe you put a different channel on. You watch an education movie, a documentary that isn't going to provide you with any images that you might find subsequently upsetting or stimulating in any way. These are various things that you can do at that time that will help you transition into that place where you'll be ready to go to bed and then from there fall asleep. Step 4. So you've gone through steps 1, 2 and 3 and you're lying in bed and you are not going to sleep. Your mind is too busy. You have thoughts, or normally it's a thought around a particular subject and your brain is stuck and it will not let you go to sleep. Now, this is usually an indication of blocked energy. It is a case where you are not allowing yourself to feel something, and normally in these situations it is centered around a subject, a person, a group or an organisation that you work for perhaps, where you are feeling powerless. There is a situation that you do not feel you have the power to resolve. So what I would recommend, if you are finding yourself laying there and you're super comfortable, you know you're really comfortable, you've sorted out your lighting, your sounds, your comfort levels, you're really relaxed otherwise, except for these annoying thoughts, is just to accept that you're having the thoughts. Don't fight them. Don't fight what it is that you're actually feeling and how these thoughts are making you feel. If you fight them, that's normally what's making it feel worse and more uncomfortable for you. So don't. Just take a deep breath and just be uncomfortable with those thoughts, and allow yourself to be inspired to take action from that place. Now, normally I would recommend that you get a pen and paper and you just start writing down whatever it is that you're feeling and thinking about that given situation. Write it either as a diary entry or maybe write it as a letter to somebody who's involved in those thought processes. Get it all out. Allow yourself, don't even think for a second that you can't say anything that you need to say. You need to say it, be that person, write it all down. Once you've finished, take a deep breath, relax, and go to sleep. If you're still finding residual thoughts, then just get up again and write those down. And at no point try and deny yourself the opportunity of believing that you are actually going to send this letter, or you're going to show somebody or the person involved this diary entry. Really be that powerless person if that's the situation. Really be the angry person if that's the situation. Put it all there on that piece of paper and allow yourself to be that person. But whatever you do, do not send any emails or texts when you're in this state. Simply write it as a letter or write it as a diary entry. You will know when you've cleared the energy because you will fall asleep immediately after you've finished. So if you're not falling asleep, then keep going, keep writing. It means you haven't connected yet with that visceral energy, whether it's anger, frustration, powerlessness, maybe it's a depression, maybe it could be anything. It's all up to you and what you're feeling in that moment and your ability to allow yourself to be that person in that moment and express it on that piece of paper. Step number 5. So you've been through all the previous steps and you have optimized and taken care of yourself in this process of going to sleep. It's your process, it's your individual process, and there you are feeling lovely and warm and comfortable, and you're still awake. You don't necessarily have any thoughts going on, you don't have any problems, you are just wide awake. So when you're in this state, don't fight it, don't beat yourself up about it, don't feel guilty, don't feel bad. Whatever it is that you're doing to yourself when you're feeling wide awake, when you should be going to sleep, just relax. Just relax and let it all go. None of that negativity is going to help you go to sleep. The simplest thing you can do is just relax into that wide awakeness. Be wide awake. Lay there and say to yourself, you know what? I'm just wide awake. What do I feel like doing? And take action on that. It could be that you really feel like going downstairs or wherever it is, go to the kitchen and have a glass of water, maybe a snack. Maybe it's just to read a bit more of that book. Or maybe play some Sudoku puzzles. Or maybe it's draw a picture or research something on the internet. I would not recommend switching on the TV at this time. The TV is a stimulant and you are better served not watching TV at all if you are finding yourself at 2 o'clock in the morning in this state. You need a single focus. A TV is a multiple focus entertainment system. It uses your eyes, your ears, your brain. Whereas if you're reading a book, you are simply using your eyes and your brain. So just relax. You are allowed to have insomnia. It happens. And sometimes there's a good reason for it. You may not know it right now. You may find that it's that cup of coffee that you had, or maybe it was a cup of tea. So the answer will come to you, but it will never come to you until you allow yourself to just relax and be who you are in the moment. And if it is being awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, then that's who you are. Just take care of yourself, remain comfortable, do things that relax you. And somehow, just by complete no effort at all, you will find yourself fast asleep. You will wake up in the morning and not even remember how it happened. So good luck. I would love to hear your feedback. Sleep really is important, and the main message that I'm trying to get through to you is that in your self-awareness you really have more control over what is going on in your sleep, well, going to bed process we start with, and then you're going to sleep process. That there are various actions that you can take that will help you achieve that state of sleep much better. I would love to hear your feedback. Please visit www.spirituallyconnected.uk.